Oh, goodness.
This week we're fishing out of one of my favorite places, the plantation on Crystal River. We're fishing in shallow water and we're casting plugs to gag grouper. So we're fishing out of this area, it's mid-December. Grouper season is closed, it's gonna be all catch and release, which is fine. You know, I'm just here for the experience of catching them. The great thing about the plantation, it has its own boat ramp. We launched the Triton first thing in the morning and our plan was to head out, hit a couple of these spots, and try to catch these grouper on casting plugs. Clay's a young guy, you know, early 20s, aggressive. You know, you can just tell that this guy is full of energy. He's got this area dialed in. He grew up in this area, and it afforded him the ability just to kind of get out there, probably like most kids, you know, just out there and discover new ground, new bottom. And that's really important, especially talking to him about this kind of area, is just getting out, finding the structure that these fish are holding on.
Man, what a pretty morning. Plantation, Crystal River, probably one of my favorite places to come. We've been here a bunch of times. Clay, what do you think you got going for us this morning?
Well, this morning we're gonna go out and try to target the shallow water grouper. We're gonna fish strictly artificials. We may show them with a little bit of bait, but we're gonna try to get all of them on plugs, both divers and some subsurface and topwater plugs. It's gonna be a good day, 6 to 8 foot of water, and it's a lot of fun once you get them rolling.
Man, I tell you what, I've been here grouper fishing, a little deeper stuff, never had them in that shallow water. I'm excited.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Everything works out like it should. You're gonna see some pretty interesting grouper fishing today.
We're gonna throw them yo-zuris at them, get it?
Yeah, we're gonna throw them.
All right, let's go.
Crystal River, I gotta be honest, the bottom is not forgiving, and it's known to be a graveyard for many lower units. So if you stay in the channels, if you take your time, it's not a problem. You know, for miles and miles and miles, it's just a slow, gradual fall in the depth of water out into the Gulf of Mexico, and there's just, you know, miles of habitat for these grouper to spawn, and for these groupers just to, you know, find areas to hold on. And that's what's so unique about what we're doing with Clay today. He's fishing these shallow rock piles. He's, you know, using the trolling motor, stopping on these spots and casting plugs to these fish. It's something I've never done before. And when I'm saying shallow, we're talking about 5, 10 feet of water. You can see these fish apparently come up and strike at the plugs. The forecast is for the wind to pick up this afternoon. There's a front coming in. And really, though, looking at it, conditions are perfect for what we want to do. We got some south winds right now. Seas are going to be calm, and we're hopeful to have a good day. This is the spot. I mean, it's crystal clear. I can see the bottom. There's grouper around here?
There's a couple of them, hopefully. We're in about 5 feet of water. So we're gonna start, and
This looks like the scalloping grounds.
it's right there.
God, insane. Grouper out of this kind of water. Been new to me. I'm pretty much shocked. I have some experience here, and I remember fishing this general area, or not even fishing, spending some time in this general area scalloping. And we're talking, you know, waist, head-high, deep water. And we stop in the same area, and this is where Clay's saying that the grouper are gonna be. Well, I gotta tell you, I made the first cast, I'm reeling in, and I get a bump. And I'm thinking, no, there's no way, not first cast, maybe I bumped bottom, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. And before I could get a second cast fired off, I look over, Clay is hooked up.
Fish on! Got him. Good. Come on! That didn't take long. I got bit too the first cast. You're kidding me.
Nope.
Power pulled down, sitting out here in the Gulf.
You just keep casting until you hook up for me, buddy. Oh yeah.
Good one?
28, 29-inch fish.
Nice. Solid fish.
Second cast.
Second cast of the morning. Why run 100 miles, 50 miles, 20 miles off the shore? Oh.
Walk backwards and drag him out, buddy.
Oh, goodness. What a bite.
It is the best strike in shallow water fishing. Oh, you got a baby. That's cheating.
I did get a baby, didn't I? Compared to yours.
Well, there you go. That's how you catch a 12-pounder, second cast.
And this is how you catch its baby.
14-incher.
I mean, this is insane. We literally had the power pull down, and we're grouper fishing in the Gulf.
That's what we do. Oh, that's the amazing thing about this area. We're in 5 feet of water, starting off the day. That fish right there will go 30 inches.
Season's closed right now. We're gonna get these back in the water. Obviously a keeper fish.
Obviously, great keeper fish, whether you're in 5 feet or 55 feet.
What would the limit be when season's open?
The limit is 2 per person, 22-inch minimum size, which that fish is gonna go right about 30. And the funny thing is they have a blue tail just like redfish. These fish are eating shrimp just like your redfish and trout would. They're so close to shore.
God. Suck down that yo-zuri. Sucked it down.
Woo! There you go, just like that.
Oh, I found my favorite type of fishing now. Wow.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Wiley X, Absolute Premium Protection.
So our plan is just to use the trolling motor to hold us around these rock piles. They're just almost like a coral head in the Keys or in the Bahamas. Just a rock pretty much out, surrounded by grass. And these are areas that these grouper are just sitting on. Today we're just gonna use some yo-zuri crystal magnum minnows. And these things, at a steady retrieve, are gonna probably dive down about 5-8 feet of water, and this is perfect for this area. Talking to Clay, he says you just wanna throw it out there, past the rock pile, and just rip it back in. You want a quick retrieve, enough for that thing just to stay down and dive. And when they strike it, I'm gonna tell you, about rip the rod out of your hand.
This is snook tackle right here, man. This is 50-pound braid, spider wire stealth, 50-pound, 80-pound fluorocarbon, and just ripping these lip yo-zuris. Magnum minnows, man.
Got him. Golly. Oh, turn, baby, turn.
Oh my God. You're right, you get them fired up, right?
You get them going, and it's a whole lot of fun. Just don't reel too fast to where the plug washes out. You just want it to be swimming as fast as it can swim while still diving. Got him, baby! Oh, they're following mine to the boat.
I spin the boat around, almost hit the camera boat. Not expecting this. Cast again, right after releasing those two. And look at this, doubled up again.
Doubled up.
Insane, insane bite. You rip that yo-zuri over him, like you said, you want to reel it as fast as you can to keep the plug swimming true, and they just are chasing right after it, man. There's a whole pack of them, like a wolf.
That's the truth.
That's a keeper fish, right?
Yeah, these both are. This would be about a 22, which is just a barely legal fish. That one's 24, 25. Couple nice fish. There's not much reviving with these bad boys. They're pretty angry.
These fish are incredible. I mean, I've caught grouper before, but in 5-10 feet of water, you're casting a spinning rod. Now this is tackle that I'm normally snook fishing with, and I'm using it to catch, 20, 30-inch grouper. When you hook one of those fish, the power that you feel from that broom tail of that gag grouper is indescribable.
There's another one. That's a good one.
Dude, he's going home. Easy on him, easy on him. He's right here.
Right there.
Right
He
there.
literally ate it right by the boat.
He's gonna freak out here in a second.
Go into the boat like this. Tell everybody, just hold the rod perpendicular.
I just got followed all the way up, buddy.
It's hard to explain, but when you're catching, you can go out and the Gulf is known for its grouper fishery. It's the place to be to catch grouper. But when you can do something like this where you catch them in such shallow water, look at that. Wow.
Just chunking plugs, right?
Chunking plugs.
Just that easy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's definitely no reason to vent these fish. Not here. You drop them, they're right back in their hole.
There's so many different ways to target these fish in the Gulf of Mexico. Most of the exposure that I've had is in deeper water. You're dropping a live bait, cut bait on the bottom. Also, which is real popular, which we've done in this place before, is trolling plugs over bottom. But this is new to me. This is casting plugs, stationary casting plugs to structure for gag grouper is something I never even heard of before. It's very similar, like you hear about these people that go to Costa Rica and are catching dogtooth, snapper on rock piles or rooster fish on these rock piles. That's kind of what I like it to.
So you discovered all these spots. I guess you grew up here?
Born and raised, George. Lived here my entire life. Went to Crystal River High School, and I've been fishing out here since I was 14. My dad started letting me take his little skiff out.
Oh, yeah, right next to the boat!
Oh, yeah! Oh, no! God almighty, that was a...
Did you see the flash?
Oh yeah. That's not uncommon, George.
He ate it right here. I also just saw a belly of a grouper roll on this plug right next to the boat. Did he follow it out of that ledge, do you think? Or
Yep.
was he sitting here? He
No,
followed it up?
they'll follow them, and all of a sudden they just make that decision that they want it.
Oh, you can't even get some, some nice talk in, hold a nice conversation. These fish are interrupting everything. And this is it right here. Bright colors, natural colors, crystal 3D, Magnum minnow. Look at that. That's it. Insane. You come out here, come out with a handful of these, you're gonna have a day full of solid action.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Eagle Claw Trocar, the sharpest fish hooks in the world.
I mean, as tempting as it is to want to break out a smaller rod and get the longer cast, get a little bit more feel with the rod, you need the tackle to stop these fish. You need 50-pound braided line to stop these fish. You need a drag that's sufficient enough to keep these fish from going back into the ledges that they came from.
Got one?
Oh yeah.
I think I was off the spot. I didn't get bit.
What? I did not get bit. I bet he's 13.
Oh, that's a solid fish right there.
Dude.
There
you go. Oh, stop him, George! Stop him! Stop him, George! George, stop him! I mean it! George, stop him! Dude, that is the man. Dang it!
I had a stud.
All right, well,
God.
that's a pretty good one, bud.
Solid. I broke off right when you were fighting that one.
Tell you what, they're a lot of fun.
Hard to stop him, man.
Oh, it is. Yo-zuri plug buried up in his mouth like that. That's why we're here. Fish like this.
Insane. Shallow water grouper, West Coast out of Crystal River. Oh, you dream of days like this.
All right, George, this is my third cast and I haven't gotten a bite.
Oh, that's it. That's
So,
what you know.
yeah,
That's
what do you think? We're gonna try another one, buddy?
3 casts, you don't get bit. It's time to move.
I mean, I can't be upset. We got 7 keepers off the first spot and 2 fish that were pretty dang nice. 1 over 10 pounds, so
That first one was a stud.
can't complain. Hook up the yo-zuris and roll on to the next one. Oh no!
On the trout rod.
On the trout rod.
I just had to do it. It was sitting there already rigged up.
I think that might almost be a keeper too. Oh, it is a keeper.
Look at that. Smaller plug. They'll still eat it. That's fun.
There you go, 22-inch fish.
Light tackle.
It hardly gets better, doesn't it?
Make a quick morning out here of these fish.
Yeah. You're right on the lower end of keeper. Yeah, probably 23, truthfully. Fun little fish.
Pretty fish.
And there he goes.
There he went.
Nice job.
Good job, brother. Thanks.
This is our first spot of the morning. I mean, 15, 20 minutes into it, we have enough fish for a television show. I mean, what do you do?
That's insane. You got more spots like that?
Well, we got about 600 spots out here that I've found like that, and
Let's just go till my arms can't take anymore.
well, that shouldn't be too hard. 2 or 3 more spots like that, and I think your shoulders will be done.
Dude, I got 2 fingers bandaged already.
There we go.
Let's do it.
He's got more spots. We're thinking to ourselves, how do we make this any different? What else can we do? Ding, light bulb goes off, topwater plug. Who's caught a grouper on a topwater plug?
That was crazy.
Oh, he's right underneath it, he's right underneath it. Oh, dude, when we start throwing divers here in a second, it's gonna get out of control, I promise you.
Oh,
Look at them all on it!
my God!
Look at them all on it!
Are you kidding me? Seriously. Grouper on a topwater plug. They just hammered this yo-zuri. Oh. How cool was that? That is insane.
There was 3 of them on it too.
Just annihilated it. I was walking the dog across the top and boom!
Oh, it's a nice fish, George.
Yeah, this is a solid one. And there was more with them.
Oh yeah.
Never. I thought you'd come out here and catch them on topwater plugs.
There you go.
On a topwater. That's what I wanted. I asked you, I said, you think we can get them on plugs, topwater plugs? Look at that yo-zuri, doing the job. Look at that. Whew. Pretty, like you said, they're really, in this water, they got great markings. Green eyes, blue tail. I want to talk today about, knowing the depth of water that you're fishing, the water column that you're fishing. Albeit you're fishing the surface or deep down on the bottom, you need to know what the target is, where that fish is primarily feeding at. Grouper could be in as deep as, several hundred feet of water, but also, as we found today, as shallow as 5 feet of water. Today we're using the Crystal Minnow Magnum. This exact one right here is what I was using. Now this is, a smaller lip plug. It's gonna dive down, 3, 5, 8 feet of water, depending on your rate of retrieve. And this was perfect for the depth of water and the water column that the grouper were feeding in. I also used a smaller plug with the lighter tackle, but subsurface getting down a couple feet of water. There's situations though, deeper bodies of water where we're trolling plugs. A plug like this is going to dive down to 25 feet of water. So the most important thing to know is what's the water column that you're fishing in, where are those fish at, and matching your hard bait to the fish that you're looking for.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by yo-zuri. Fish the best.
What's so unique about this area is the bottom. So many places in Florida you go, there's sandbars and mud flats and oyster beds. This area is just rocky. I don't know any other way to explain it. It's just limestone everywhere you look, and this is a great area for fish to hide. What makes it such a great place to fish.
Oh my God! Woo! Oh, the popper! It's a big one too, a real big one.
You ate the popper.
You better throw it.
I just got mine.
I reeled it real fast. I threw it right over that rock right there. This is a good fish.
On a popper.
On a popper. Throwing a tuna popper.
Oh my God, that is a solid fish.
Oh man. Now George, when you get these things under the boat and they start bulldogging like this, it's key to just be easy on him. He ain't getting back to the rock. There's no reason to pull the hooks right here.
You're right, you got him out.
There you go.
Look at that, on the yo-zuri hydro popper, sitting in shallow water. And there was more with them.
There was a pile of them. Yep, that's about a 16-pound fish right there.
You dream of this. Catching this kind of fish deep down is one thing, when you're out meat, but to get them on a topwater, on a popper.
To watch them hit it. And people think this is impossible.
It's possible. It's
It
possible
sure is.
today. Let's let this one get back in there. Wait for season to open up, huh?
That's a big one. Somebody's gonna come catch him next year. There he goes.
Back down to the hole. There's so many different ways to target these groupers. Is this what you do mainly? I mean, the diving plugs, stuff like this, or you ever live bait them or dead bait them?
There is a lot of ways to catch these fish, George, and throughout the season, starting in July, we kind of have to employ a lot of different tactics as the season progresses. We normally start off throwing live bait in the summer, and as it gets into the fall, we switch over to the diving plugs as the fish get more aggressive with the cooler temperatures. This year in November, we started throwing plugs, and we just had a great bite on the plugs. And as you see today, I mean, there's no reason to bring bait out here. Once they make the switch over to hitting lures, we're pretty much done with bait for the year.
Right on top of that rock. He ate it.
Little guy.
Little guy, dark. What do you say, man? Hey, what a morning, dude. I just say we call it. God, 12:30, the wind's starting to blow, there's a front coming. Had a little weather window, we're able to get out here, but a couple miles offshore, it's already getting a little choppy. Call it, head back into the plantation.
Sounds good, buddy.
What an awesome day.
20 keepers by 12:30. That's what I'm talking about.
Thanks so much, brother. I'll never forget this day.
Early afternoon, wind's picking up as forecasted. We are worn out. My elbow's killing me, my hands are torn up. We've caught more fish than we can count. I mean, plenty more than we need, and it's just amazing. We decided, you know what? Let's just call it a day. Let's just head back to the plantation. The plantation is one of those places that I always look forward to coming back to. Super boater friendly. They have a boat ramp. They have a dive shop. You know, a tiki bar, pool. You know, a golf course for those that don't even fish. But very boater friendly. You can tie the boat up out back behind your room. And really, this is a great destination. Albeit fishing, scalloping, you know, swimming with the manatees, the natural springs. There's so many different things to do here. I saw Clay Schidler's post on Facebook that he was catching these grouper in shallow water, and I was intrigued. I gotta tell you, I'm so glad that I made the choice to come over to this area and experience this type of grouper fishing. Been to the Gulf many times, targeting grouper, nothing ever like this. It's a trip that I'll never forget.
You know it's good when the cameraman's catching them.
Zach.
That was a good shot.
Became an issue, picking up your deep tissues. Let me stop and reconsider.